Hello everybody, Kyle here, bringing you another Meet My Pokemon. Now I haven't done one of these for a long time. I'm a bit of a battle addict, so I'm trying to just battle because I think it's really fun. But I have been told by a couple of you that you really enjoy this series as well. And I haven't done one in a while, and so I figured it'd only be fair if I went ahead and did another one. So here we go. I thought I'd go ahead and do this one on my Tentacruel because he has been putting in a lot of work lately, and so again, as you guys know, I like to do these videos on Pokemon after you guys have already seen them put in work, and so you know that they do work. You know, that I'm not just showing you, I'm not doing like other channels do, where they just give you this hypothetical build, kind of like how Verlis does. I feel like a lot of Verlis's builds are very hypothetical. You know, like he'll show you, he'll be like, Klefki's OP because of this, and then you're like, prove it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many of his videos I didn't like because he would claim something was OP, but then when you looked at it, it's like, yeah, it looks good on paper, but show us the build, use it in a battle, and he doesn't. I don't know if there are any other channels that do that. I feel like a lot of other channels just kind of like, what's that? The Extra Decks, that show that only does like, they're like 2-minute long episodes or 6-minute long episodes or something like that. They also basically they just state the really obvious. They're like, this thing has high attack and speed, so max those out and give it attack moves. There you go. You know, like, I don't feel like there's a lot of really detailed builds that show you things that are proven on the battlefield. And since Crood has definitely earned it, I figure I would show you guys him today. This is my Tentacruel Crood, as I just stated. Starting with the breeding, as you can see by the symbols underneath where it says poison, I bred him till he was perfect in HP, special defense, special attack, defense, and speed. Because I'm not going to be doing any physical attacks, so I don't need that stat, and it's always nice to have your defenses, as much speed as possible, and then special attack, of course. Now, he is a special wall, so as you can probably tell by looking over at his stats, I bred him so that his special defense and HP were perfect. I EV trained him so that his HP and special defense are maxed out, and I think I threw his last point into either defense, special attack, or speed. I can't remember which one. I'm pretty sure it's speed, but I feel like you can throw that last point into either special attack or speed. So, you know what I'm saying? I think speed might be the best because that one speed can matter, whereas one special attack or one defense I don't feel matter as much, since it only takes one speed to outspeed your opponent, and it takes a lot more than one defense to tank a hit a lot more, you know, a significant amount. I almost forgot the nature and the ability. I did breed him Calm to give me that special defense boost, since I am, you know, it's using him as a special wall. Without Calm, he would only have about 170 special defense. So as you can see, that Calm nature does give him a huge boost. And then I bred Liquid Ooze, mainly because, one, you don't see it ran very often. And as you might have seen in my most recent battle against the Japanese individual, gentleman, Liquid Ooze does turn out to be useful because people kind of forget about it. Because it works on Dream Eater, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, all those draining moves, Drain Punch, all those moves that deal damage to you and then drain it into HP for your opponent, it'll deal the amount they were going to heal as damage. And that can be a huge thing when your opponent's not expecting it. Off camera, I have had a Venusaur fall victim to it, but it didn't die. But off camera, I believe I've had a Venusaur die to it. We did have the Mega Gardevoir die to it in the last match that I played. Spoilers if you haven't watched that, I'm sorry. So I definitely feel it's a very good move, especially because you can throw him out on a grass wall, which those usually seem to be regenerators, you know, that use Giga Drain and Leech Seed, and so you're basically just forcing them to damage themselves really bad. And since you can also set up the toxic spikes on top of that, on top of those regenerating walls, since you just tear them down. He is definitely, while he is a special wall himself, he's kind of a wall breaker too, in certain situations. Jumping into the moves, I gave him Scald, Sludge Bomb, Hex, and Toxic Spikes. Now, the reason why I did this set is I feel like Scald, even on my sweepers, is a very good water move generally to have because its base damage is 80, which is not that bad at all. I mean, that's only 10 less than Flamethrower, and just like Flamethrower, you have the chance to burn. It's just a really useful move, and since it's nowhere near as inaccurate as Hydro Pump, it's a lot more reliable, and so I like it a lot more. Sludge Bomb, so I can get the stab, and also helps me deal with fairies, since for some reason, just by chance, I guess, the Pokemon I've decided to breed, I usually do have a problem with fairy types, and so Crood having Sludge Bomb definitely helps a lot with that, and since I feel like other than Play Rough, most fairy type attacks are like Moonblast and what's the other one? Is it Hyper Voice? Is that a fairy move? I know there's another fairy move that's like, I think it's Hyper Voice. I could be wrong. But those moves are special. And so it is really useful to throw him out on a fairy, and you can usually scare them out. Hex I have because I like the combo it has with Toxic Spikes, so I'll talk about Toxic Spikes first. For those of you that don't know, though I'm assuming you all do, let me move the camera a tiny bit so the Toxic Spikes is easier to see. Toxic Spikes is a hazard that when you throw it onto your opponent's side of the field, unless they have a Rapid Spinner, a Defogger, or a Poison Pokemon that touches the ground on their team, what the spikes will do is they will sit there, and after one layer, any Pokemon who lands on the spikes will get the poisoned condition, which does a set amount of poison damage at the end of every turn. And if you have 2 layers of Toxic Spikes down, then you give Pokemon the badly poisoned condition, which does increasingly more damage for every turn that Pokemon stays on the field. The badly poisoned condition does stay with the Pokemon when they switch out, as long as they don't have Natural Cure. But at the same time, and what that does is that means when they come back on the field, it'll restart the ticks. Meaning, like, say it does 5%, then 10%, then 15%, then 20%, right? If they switch out at 20%, when they come back, it'll only be doing 5% again. Those aren't the exact numbers that it does. That's just an example. I don't actually know the set amount of damage that Toxic does each turn, which is something I probably should know. Get away from that, cat. Cat, get away from that. Leave my water alone, damn it. Alright, and now this is where Hex comes in. Since Scald has a chance to burn, and Toxic Spikes adds poison, Hex, being a ghost type move, is good for coverage, and already has a pretty good base amount of damage. But Hex's special hit, text, is that if you use it on a Pokemon that has badly poisoned, paralyzed, asleep, or burn conditions, it does massive damage. Now, once again, I don't know the exact amount of damage it goes up to, but since it is stated as massive damage, and I have used it to destroy Confagragus walls, which are usually quite hard to get through even with a ghost move, it just goes to prove that this move gets a huge damage boost when something is Hex, and therefore is extremely useful. Altogether, I would say this Tentacruel is a lot of fun, and while it's not too far off from the standard Tentacruel. I think the only thing is sometimes they don't run Hex, sometimes they just have Toxic Spikes, etc. Since the Toxic Spikes can't be removed, since Toxic can't be removed like Toxic Spikes can. But at the same time, I think is a really good thing, and it gets in your opponent's head because it keeps them from wanting to switch in Pokemon that do get affected by Toxic Spikes. And stuff like that, and you can also force them to bring in their Rapid Spinner or their Defogger and predict that, and then therefore get an advantage on your opponent, knowing that there's a switch in they might do. And then even if you mispredict and they don't switch it in, there's probably another thing that's going to end up getting poisoned. So it's just a benefit either way for you. And there we go. There's not really too much to say about Crood other than what I've just explained. Oh, Black Sludge. Since he is a wall and he is the poison type, I like to run the Black Sludge because, like Leftovers, it is going to heal you at the end of every turn, and since it's specifically for poison Pokemon, it's really good to me because that means that if you want to have another Pokemon on your team with Leftovers, such as how I usually run Superior, lately I've been running Esquire, which is my Superior on the same team as Crood, it leaves the Leftovers open for Superior to hold, and I can still have 2 walls that regenerate. I have been thinking about changing Superior's item over to a big root, but as you're going to see later tonight when I upload my newest battle, I did change up my team, so Superior is actually taking a break for now, so that item probably won't make its debut until later on. And there we go, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. It's a nice short one. I'm going to get this one uploaded, and then I just before recording this played a really good match with the new team. I think only 3 or 4 of the Pokemon are actually different. Garchomp is still on the team, and so is Starmie. Oh, and so is Staraptor. It has 3 different Pokemon on it, though, that I don't believe you've seen me use yet, but that I really enjoy using. And there we go. So look forward to that match. And I will talk to you guys soon. Once again, actually, I'm sorry, I keep saying this. Before I go, please leave a comment if there's something you think would be cool to try with Tentacruel. If you just like the build, or if you want to try it yourself and you make a video. My cat just dumped my water over. Are you freaking serious, cat? Here. If you really if you just like the build and you want to tell me that hey you like it, or if you're gonna try it yourself and you have a video maybe to share of you trying this Tentacruel out on your for yourself, or if you just have something you think it would be cool for me to breed another Tentacruel and try a different set or something like that, just let me know in the comments. And if you just want to say hello, leave a comment, because I really enjoy interacting with you guys. And there's only 1 to 3 of you I really ever get to talk to. And with 15 subscribers, that means I'm missing out on like 20, on like 80% of the what's the word of our little group here. So I really like to connect with you guys, because if there's any improvements I can do on the channel, your feedback is really good. So that way, other than losing you as part of our little circle of friends here, I can work on that, or I can interact with you in a better way and make you feel more part of the channel. While we're small like this, it's the best time to interact with me, because while I don't think I'll be getting bigger anytime soon, when I start doing the show match, like the monotype match coming up, there will hopefully be more people coming in from that. And while I don't think it's going to be enough where it'll be hard for me to talk to you guys, I do hope that I eventually will get a big channel and I'll have to deal with the logistics of talking to everybody. So this is just the best time to to really interact and be able to influence the direction of the channel. So again, I do appreciate those comments. But okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Sorry, I did ramble for like 3 more extra minutes. And I will talk to you guys next time.